All right. We are live on the air, live on the internet. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. And we have special guests today. Peter Douche is back, the Democratic strategist, Peter Douche. Now, we have a little bit of breaking news we want to discuss with Mr. Douche. Now, again, if this is your first time joining us, Mr. Douche is being exiled in the embassy suites. So he has audio access, but he does not have camera access. So we don't get to ever see the legendary Democratic strategist, Peter Douche, but we do get to hear him. And he's here today because the comedian Peter Daou has changed his tune a little bit via a recent Nation article. He's not endorsing Bernie per se, but he has become Bernie sympathetic. And some of the Hillary camp who are big fans of his comedy are now turning on him. It's kind of a weird thing, and I really want to hear Peter Douche's take on this. So first of all, Peter Douche, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here. I wish I was here under better circumstances, but Hillary's not running.
So what's your take on Peter Daou? What is this? Is he retiring from comedy? Is this sincere or is this a prank?
Well, this is where, normally I don't agree with Peter Daou, but we both are in similar situations. When you're paid to slander, when you're not paid to slander and libel people, especially Bernie, the ethical thing to do when the paychecks stop coming in is stopping slandering and libeling him.
So you think this is all a money thing?
Well, I can't speak for comedian Daou. I mean, that's your world, but personally, I think it's, I'm keeping an open mind. I'm going to support whichever campaign pays me.
So are you sympathetic to Bernie then?
At the moment, yes, absolutely. It's, we're looking, we need a paradigm shift. So to go along with millennials, we're now in a gig economy. So one week I'll be for Buttigieg. Next week I may write an article for Biden. It's, you got to keep your options open.
Well, Biden hasn't even formally announced yet.
And that's good for his campaign.
A lot of people in his campaign are saying that it's already a train wreck.
Well, we've seen him before, and that's part of why I'm looking for work. If we had a stronger centrist running, I probably wouldn't have to stoop this low to actually write something positive about Bernie.
What happened to Kamala? I thought you were all about Kamala.
Well, she'll be back. She's working on her Prison Jobs for All platform.
Prison Jobs for All. Please elaborate.
Well, I mean, back in the 90s, all of her tough on crime stuff was really popular with the Black community. And they love the tough love. I mean, so people love the prison jobs and the free labor. It's very popular with a lot of liberals here in California.
What about Pete Buttigieg?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a hell of a personality.
What does he stand for?
At the moment, he stands for his personality, but he's working on that.
He stands for his personality? What does that even mean? Everybody stands for their personality. It's like their personality. They're stuck with it.
Well, did you see his town hall? He explained it all. He's going to get to the policy once you get to know him. Decide how you feel about him. If you're in his camp, you're going to like his policies.
What if I want to know his policies to determine whether or not I want to support that candidate?
This is not the year for that. This is the unity ticket time. We've got to get behind whichever blue party wins the nomination.
Now, you have your popular hashtag, any poo will do. How's that going?
Well, Biden is slipping in the polls, so not too well. But I'm all for Bernie at the moment, so that's great.
You're all for Bernie at the moment.
It's great. I'm a progressive now.
So
couldn't be happier.
But you're Bernie sympathetic, but you have not endorsed Bernie. What would it take for an endorsement?
Well, I've thought a lot about this, and I'll need to refine it as the polls come in. But I'm beginning to think that endorsing Bernie could be the best way to stop him.
How so?
Well, I'm pretty damn establishment. And if there's one thing his supporters don't like, it's the establishment.
So there's a reverse psychology thing going on.
That's what you said.
What are your thoughts on the overall town hall? Did you watch all 5 hours of the? I did not, but did you put in the time?
I watched most of them.
How many mimosas did you go through?
About 3 an hour.
So it was a low-key night for you.
Yeah, I mean, ending on Buttigieg was fantastic because by that time we'd heard all this policy talk, and I just didn't want any more of it. So by then it was perfect.
Why doesn't Amy Klobuchar support free college tuition?
I really wish she would come on my side with Bernie, where we all support free college tuition.
Why is that?
I no longer have to answer for Amy Klobuchar, and I got to tell you, that's kind of fantastic.
Well, you're not endorsing Bernie though. You haven't endorsed Bernie. You're just Bernie sympathetic. Which can you elaborate on what exactly that means? The comedian Daou, he entertains being Bernie sympathetic. You are now Bernie sympathetic. What exactly does that mean? Like Bernie's had the right to democracy for a long time now, and you're okay with it, and that's somehow like newsworthy.
Well, this is getting into some complicated area, but I looked back on 2016 and I did some real soul searching and realized I'm unhireable. so I'm keeping an open mind and going to support the first campaign to hire me.
Do you think Bernie's going to hire you?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm a big fan of David Sirota. I've said so many positive things about him for years. If you go back and read my deleted tweets, they're there.
If you read my deleted tweets. Were there any time traveling Russian hackers that messed with your Twitter as well? Did that happen?
Only if Joanne Reed wants me on her show. I'm available, Joy.
How's Douche Leaks going?
Douche Leaks is fantastic. The only caveat is I may need to step aside and take an editorial role to remain neutral in the primaries here.
Why are you neutral though? I thought that you're Bernie sympathetic now.
Well, I mean, as a neutral person, I can take advantage of this gig economy and slander everybody.
So are you a progressive now, or are you still a radical neoliberal centrist who hates labels?
I'm a Beto, Butter something, Kamala Biden friendly progressive with only one air quote.
What does that mean?
It means I'm moving left. I'm starting to think that after Barrett didn't succeed, the reboot didn't happen in the summer of 18. I've really got to take a good look at other candidates, and I'm open.
What do you think Biden's going to do? How's he going to announce? What's going to happen?
Well, he's probably going to say something terrible about millennials to kick off his tour.
Why?
Well, they're the biggest bloating block. And the thing that in his generation, you won people over with tough love, and somebody's got to do it. So he's going to insult millennials and announce that he's running, and then hug a small child inappropriately.
And you're okay with all this?
I mean, as a Bernie supporter, I'm excited. Very, very excited.
Why?
Well, we have such a diverse field. It's great. We've got young white, old white, middle white, top in the polls. It's amazing.
So there are now 21 people in this race. It seems like what they're trying to make sure happens is that it goes to a second ballot so that the superdelegates can jump in and make sure a centrist gets the nomination. Is that what you think is going to happen?
I think that's a common myth.
How is that a myth?
it's a myth because we're not even going to need the super delegates. If there are two radical centrists in there along with Bernie, after the first vote, they're free to vote for whoever they want. So we can do it without even needing to usurp the people's will with the super delegates.
I don't know about that. I mean, what if I think that a lot of people aren't buying these candidates. I mean, first they tried to shove Kamala down our throats. People weren't into it. Then they tried Beto O'Rourke. People weren't into it. Now Pete Buttigieg's the flavor of the week. People aren't into it. The Seth Moulton guy, nobody's even talking about him because he's so freaking boring. Joe Biden's campaign is already starting off as a train wreck. The establishment may have failed this one, Mr. Douche.
I have no comment. I feel like between Biden, Beto, Something, and Kamala, we've got lots of viable candidates to split the vote at the convention.
Are you going to be at the convention?
It's a tough time financially right now. So
why is that?
Well, I mean, I can relate to millennials. I haven't gotten too much work in this gig economy now that I'm a freelancer. Yay.
What are you doing? What are you doing freelance wise? Like, what are you getting into?
Well, I have slander. There's also libel. I'm a hip guy now too. I can throw shade.
You can throw shade.
I can throw shade.
Give me an example.
Biden's so fat. I don't know. I may go back to smooth jazz.
All right, where can people find more about you? Give everybody the lowdown on Douche Leaks.
Douche Leaks. Well, I was a writer there, but doucheleaks.com. You've got Kurt I've Gone Bald, Max Bootlick, Russia Maddow. And we do a lot of fact checking. We just launched, so give the site a little patience, and in a month or so, hopefully pay some bills.
Can you tell me what some of the early Douche Leaks polls have indicated? I know you guys have been taking some polls over there. What have some of the polls revealed that you've taken over at Douche Leaks?
Yeah, so Marcos makes it so. He runs the polling, and there's a lot of grassroots enthusiasm for the Yang Gang.
Okay.
Incredible. He taking Bernie out of it. I believe he had 0.08% of the vote. So he's doing really well.
How's Joe Biden doing?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think polling for Biden is kind of silly because we all know he's a known commodity, and we know as soon as he gets in the race, he's going to tank, and it's something I have to even admit.
Wow, that's pretty heavy. You are really coming around.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he's got enough money to pay me, so I don't even see the point. Let's be honest here.
Oh, brilliant. Mr. Douche, let people know where to find your book. And again, doucheleaks.com is the website, so you can participate in those polls, see what's going on from all the great contributors there. And where can people get your book?
At inconvenientdouche.com. And also you can find it at doucheleaks.com.
Brilliant. Mr. Douche, we appreciate you being on the show today and for giving us your insight into the 2020 election and into what's going on with the comedian who parodies you, Peter Daou. Thank you for your thoughts, and we'll be checking up again with you soon. We really appreciate you educating us from time to time here on the campaign trail.
All right. Thank you. And I do love Bernie now, but God bless Hillary.
All right. Thank you.